Welcome back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
Together we are
Ryan and John. Oh, there he is. Hey, little guy.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you.
On the couch as always. We've got my stunning wife,
Okay.
Cara Tafolla.
Thank you.
That's I'm not afraid to say it. She's a stunner.
She is stunning. She a track star.
We got already podcast dog Albright.
What are you saying? All right.
And joining us this week, drinking water, just straight up water out of a wine
Or
glass.
vodka, one of the two.
Oh.
We'll never know.
And it's Skovmand.
The water cups were dirty.
Always fresh, never frozen. A lot of people were saying that this show was a lot better when it was under a Trump presidency. And so I think these podcasts are going to start getting more interesting. What do you say?
Yeah, sure. That sounds good.
Okay, great.
More interesting. That sounds good.
More
right?
interesting.
And shorter. That's
doesn't
actually
mean-
our whole episode. Go
That
ahead
doesn't
and
mean
end it.
better.
Oh, okay.
It certainly means
all right. So
interest
not
of
good.
note.
What was the right answer?
it
Just
was
so I know.
of note.
The right answer was, it's always interesting, Ryan.
Okay.
when
It's
you're
always
around.
interesting when you're around, Ryan.
Thanks. Oh, thanks, John.
You're welcome, of course.
Thanks, John.
Yeah,
I'm feeling a little sheepish after the events of last week. We watched the sun go down on TikTok, and then it quickly came back up.
What, the next day?
Yeah,
That was
12
wild.
hours later.
12 hours later.
What's crazy is, speaking of President Trump, the message that TikTok released.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
I
think.
had the exact message. I screenshotted both of them.
Read it for me.
Okay, give me about 22
Read it for
seconds.
us.
Read it now.
Read it.
Show me to me, Rachel, please.
Well, first we were told that we were going to lose TikTok at midnight
And then we
on
lost it.
19th.
at
We lost it
10:30
midnight Eastern
Pacific,
time.
Yeah.
or they
Well,
said
that makes
10:30 Eastern time.
Some people say that the reason that they did that is because they had to verify that all their U.S. users were deactivated, and it takes like hours. Because the fine, as some of you guys know, it was $5,000 per American user every 12 hours. So they were saying every 12 hours, TikTok would be fined $1.5 million. And so that
doesn't
That doesn't seem like
sound
enough.
like that many users. I feel like they have like
I feel like it'd be more than that.
5,000 per person per 12 hours.
And
Don't
I
they
feel
have like a
there's
million
millions.
users or something? A few million
Who
users.
knows? So the message they
Although,
released,
look, I
because
trust you. I
you'd
trust
go
the
to
numbers.
turn on TikTok, and this message popped up and said, "Sorry, TikTok isn't available right now. A law banning TikTok has been enacted in the U.S. Unfortunately, that means that you can't use TikTok for now. We are fortunate that President Trump has indicated that he will work with us on a solution to reinstate TikTok once he takes office. Please stay tuned." And then you
Okay.
had to automatically close the app.
Weird.
Weird.
Weird, right?
That alone
Why are
is
they
weird.
why are they naming President Trump in the message?
What's weirder is when it came back on in the message they
Do you have
released.
that one
Oh
too?
yeah.
Let's see it.
Welcome back. Thanks for your patience and support. As a result of President Trump's efforts, TikTok is back in the U.S. You can continue to create, share, discover all the things you love on TikTok. Continue.
What does that mean?
So
What are you talking about? He's not even the
So
president.
weird. Yeah, and this happened
Now,
the day
if,
before the
if that came out
inauguration.
today, if TikTok came back today and they
It
were
makes
like,
sense.
"Thanks, President Trump, he brought it back," like almost I could be like, okay, yeah, maybe he did like do a little like executive order or something. But it was yesterday.
You know
It was the
what's
day
so
before the
funny?
inauguration.
Is there like, thanks, President Trump? He's the one that kind of in like first started.
Not
being
kind
like,
of.
We're
He was the
banning
one.
TikTok.
He was like,
We're gonna
I'm
ban
gonna see if
TikTok.
we can get a TikTok ban.
Because like it's we're like
Bad
it's
for the
enemy,
country.
yeah, all this stuff. He started it, and then Biden finished it,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "You're an idiot. We're bringing TikTok back."
The people want TikTok. We love TikTok.
TikTok.
And so we're bringing it back.
It kind of is like genius in the way of like you start the war, and then you come in as the hero
Yes.
for the same war, which is kind
Yes.
of America's thing, right?
Well,
We like to start things and then finish them, and then be like,
look what
saved
we
the
did.
day."
We saved the day. We saved the town.
We set the fire, and then we put the fire out. We're like, haha.
We did
Did we
it.
ever get to the bottom of who set those LA fires? Any news came out about that or
I
what?
just heard that the Pasadena one was like a transformer blew up right when the winds were kicking off. Okay, so TikTok
back.
obviously is back. Yay, great. Well,
How did you guys do for that 24 hours without it?
rough.
You mean the couple of hours because we were sleeping?
Yeah.
I guess that's true. It was like 8 hours.
I was on Reels right before I went to bed, which was not fun.
It was
because my Reels algorithm is busted.
I think it like crashed.
his reels are racist.
Oh, now here, hold on.
No. He didn't even be able. The algorithm didn't even set. It was like the first scroll was a racist.
I was like,
a racist reel.
Oh no!
And then the next one, I was like,
But you've
oh my
watched,
god,
you've watched
you're on
Reels
racist
before,
reels.
though.
I've never even kissed a reel.
Yes, you have. I send you reels
Oh.
all the time.
Oh, so you're trying to say?
Okay, wait. Let's put the dots together.
Oh,
My algorithm's
No.
racist. Annie sends me
Mine's
reels all the
not.
time.
Mine's not racist.
Wait,
so
I
I don't
think
know
I'm
what
circling
you're
the drain.
following on Instagram.
It don't be like that. It don't be like that.
Messed.
Okay, everyone point to the racist in the room.
I'm not going to be pointing at this time.
I don't know.
On MLK Day, Valdez, really, Ryan?
John said something interesting that was, I might still delete it because I don't like how it made me feel when it was gone,
What?
and then when it
Oh,
came
yeah.
back, something along those lines.
Yeah, I'm honestly seriously considering it, like deleting it off my phone. I wouldn't delete my account because I do think I'd come back to it, but I don't know. I just didn't like how many times I autopiloted to it. Like I was just sitting somewhere and I was just like, I saw that freaking message like probably 15 times because I would just go to it and it would be like,
Aw.
You can't
TikTok
use
is
it.
down in the U.S. I
Dang.
was like, oh, okay.
Come on, Trump, you can do it.
I recently,
Your only hope.
I recently have been finding myself going to it to search up something.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because instead of like Google searching something, having to go through a bunch of articles, it's like
video.
the first video.
Yeah, I think
How to do this.
Right.
like I said, I think I'm going to work on taking
Tapering
a break
it off.
from it. Yeah. Because I'm
I-
like,
when I deleted
it was whatever. I'm just not, I don't know. I don't like how obsessed I was with it.
I
guess.
deleted it for like 6 months? No, maybe 3 months. Remember when I
6
was
weeks, I
finishing?
think.
6 weeks.
Maybe, but when I was finishing
6
college,
days.
Oh.
I deleted it when I was.
I thought you meant
finishing
the
up-
most recent
No.
ban that you had.
No, I deleted it for a while, and then you guys were like, "Annie, get back on TikTok." And I will say, I did like. I felt I wasn't going on my phone as much. I did like it because Reels aren't as good. It's not like as addictive. It doesn't know you as well.
Right.
So like, I'd scroll on Reels for like a minute or so, and then I'd be like, oh, "Okay, like I'm done."
TikTok doesn't
But
know
TikTok-
me like Reels do.
Oh my gosh,
I mean,
TikTok
Reels
is
don't know
like.
me like TikTok does.
I want to just quickly double tap on the message of thank you, President Donald Trump, for your efforts.
Because you feel that same way about him.
Thank you. Thank you so much. No, I'm like, it's just weird. Now it feels like the vibe in the room has shifted because
Supreme
I'm like,
Overlord.
yeah, it's like, oh, thank you, Supreme Overlord. I'm not saying like in the country. I'm saying in TikTok. Like now I'm like on this app where the people that put it back on and like are running the whole thing
Here's
are
what I
like,
think.
oh, thank you, Trump. Thanks.
I think it's not like I agree. It does give that vibe. I think no matter who was elected, that message was going to say whoever was being elected, because I think what TikTok is realizing is that they now have to work with Trump. You know, like the reality is,
Right.
in order if they want to keep it in the U.S., they have to work with his administration. So I think adding his name in that message isn't like. I don't know that has like this overarching arc. I think TikTok is trying to play the political game, you know?
Right.
And Trump loves, more than any other president we've ever had, loves seeing his name on crap. So I'm like, they're playing right into his hands by being like, thank you, Trump, because now Trump's going to look at that and go like, yep, like he's going to get that like savior complex, which is ultimately how they're going to keep it in the U.S. is by working with him. I agree. Like it does feel weird from a user standpoint, but I'm like, I see what they're doing. They're trying to play to his ego because they want to keep it in the U.S. You know, I mean, that's the reality. They have to work with him on that.
Yeah, and at that point, I would just go like, okay, I mean, you remember what happened with Twitter? The vibe on Twitter is completely different now.
Yeah.
Now it's like
Elon Musk ruined Twitter.
ruined it for
And-
sure.
Which now it's the rumors of Meta has now bought a part of TikTok.
I saw that a lot of that kind of got squashed because, like it'd be like, you know, in Succession how they have to have the big merger, right, with the companies. Like it would be like they have to make a what do you call it? Like a big statement basically that's like, hey, this company is going to buy this company, and it would be on public record. It would be like in the, you know.
Yeah, and Meta would be tooting its own
just because
horn if
Totally.
there
something
was
like
like
that.
things on Facebook that are now connected. It's like now
Yeah.
Facebook is
Whoa.
having you put your TikTok profile on
Wait,
it.
I
and
saw
like
that
things
too.
are starting to connect.
Wait, I might be really old. I am really old.
Tomorrow.
Facebook has enacted its. It must be some new law. Enacted its own timer system inside because you know you can do screen time.
Okay.
Every time I'm on Facebook now, it's like snooze, dismiss.
You've run out of screen time
Take a
over this
break.
app, but it's only in the app. It's not like your actual screen time on your phone. It's like built into the app.
Ew.
So I think it must be some new law of being like you have to basically like let people know how long they've been on your app.
I will open that app and I'll scroll literally like one scroll and it'll pop up.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
but
you're
it's
talking
like-
about on the Facebook app?
It's
Yes.
in
They're still
Facebook though.
figuring it out. They're,
It's
they're,
so
they're working out
weird.
the bugs.
That app's pretty cursed too. So
I've told you guys. I said I don't like Mark Zuckerberg. We're a bunch of Zuckers for
Zuck?
him.
All right.
I
We,
don't. I
like-
don't feel that I'm a Zuck for him, but
You're a Zucker.
you're certainly a Zucker. I don't know
No.
what. I'm definitely
We're all
not.
Zuckers, guys.
Why- what
Because
makes us Zuckers?
We are fit. Like we feed into Instagram, and we love Facebook Marketplace. It's the only reason I haven't deleted Facebook. I love that thing.
Let's just delete it all. Let's do it
You know
today.
what I was thinking about in the realm of social media?
Because you're a Zucker.
Oh.
That's why.
All right.
That's
a
why.
Zucker.
All right. I was thinking about because Elon Musk teased bringing Vine back, and then I was thinking, you remember when Twitter bought Vine to literally just shut it down?
Yep.
Yeah.
destroy it.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
Like
why did they do that? It was too powerful.
It's
it
yes.
was too powerful.
Yes,
literally.
that's why they did it.
That's crazy. Isn't
then
that like,
The fact
we're-
that we didn't look at that and go, "Oh, they're trying to build a monopoly."
we don't
and
talk
stop
about that,
shut that
enough.
shit down.
You know what
we
I'm
don't.
saying? Like Twitter just bought a really popular company just to go, we're going to shut it down. Like that is like
I miss Vine.
I mean, you talk about the conversation right now is about our surrounding TikTok is like all these creators make a lot of money. It brings in all this commerce to the U.S. It's like that was Vine. Like Vine brought money in.
Yeah.
and
And another
Vine,
company just went,
Vine
nah.
2,
Thank you.
when Vine 2 came back,
Oh,
and it was like you could post the longer videos. It was literally TikTok,
yeah.
You talking
and
about
then they shut it
slime?
down. No, it was Vine 2.
Now, do you think
I
did not
never.
remember
I
Vine
never.
too.
I had Vine
Vine
too.
if Overlord
I
Elon
had it.
flips the switch and turns Vine back on, do you think it's got a shot?
No, I don't.
If Elon's running it, I will intentionally not use it. I will intentionally not use it. And I'm kind of starting to lean that way. TikTok after I saw the CEO's video that was like, "Hey guys, like thank you so much, Donald Trump. Thank you. We're working on getting it back and
He's
free
playing the
speech, free
game.
speech." Yeah, exactly.
He's playing the
and
game.
I guess it was my understanding that this was a Chinese company and it was inherently bad for us.
Yeah.
And we were using it, and now it's like, oh no, it's just some schlep that wants to be a billionaire that's sucking up to Donald Trump, and it kind of
I
pisses
don't
me
know.
off.
I kind of feel
Just like the Zuck, just like Elon.
Yeah, I think I'm starting
Tim
to
Cook.
understand a little bit more of why they won't sell in the U.S. because I'm like, the algorithm really is the sauce, And if they sell that, it's not even that they would take TikTok and make a lot of money, obviously in the U.S., but they could also sell that algorithm to then to Facebook or Meta, and then it's like everybody's on the same playing field again. Like that's so dumb,
Dumb.
Like if everything has this wonderful algorithm, like who wins? You know what I'm saying? Like where are we gonna go with all this?
My question is, when will they have enough money?
Yeah, that's true too.
Is there
Never
is there
know.
a point where somebody like that goes, okay, that's enough. That's enough. We've made our money.
Did you watch the inauguration at all?
I did, unfortunately. I
Oh,
tuned
yeah.
in right when Donald Trump was saying that the official government stance is that there are two genders,
Oh, really?
man and woman. He
really?
literally, this was his big swing for the fences. He is like, starting today, we're going to start deporting all the Mexicans. Starting today, we're going to, put common sense back into the classrooms, which didn't make sense to me. And,
Okay.
our
know, it's-
official government position is that there's two genders.
Male and female.
And I'm like, you're just like still pushing the whole culture war thing now. It's like you won the
Also,
election. Why?
Yeah, that's
One of the
true.
big things that he said was he is going to bring an end to the born into citizenship.
The DACA.
If you're of
Oh,
no,
no,
if
not
you,
DACA.
well, if you're of
birthright citizenship.
your birthright, yeah.
So
if you're
if you're-
of an illegal
You're born here.
immigrant,
You're
and you're born here, normally now it's like, yes, you're born here, you're a citizen, no matter where you came from. If you're born here, you have a birthright, and he wants to take that away.
Yeah, I
That's crazy.
I don't think
I could
he'll
only
get-
take
I don't
so
think
much
he'll
of it.
get that far with any of that stuff. It's just classic, and that's like you said. It is kind of disheartening because it's like, bro, you've already won. Like who is this for now? You know what I'm saying? Like, like if you, I guess maybe he actually believes it. I was always under the like impression that he was playing into the hands of these like Republican conservative extremists,
Right.
to try and win the election. And then he would go back to being like, okay, like I'm not actually going to do all that crap. Like just
Well,
take a
now he's
breath.
like, oh, I've got this army of people. I've got this entire country of people that voted for me in a landslide. Now, as long as I keep spewing this kind of like rhetoric, people will line up. They'll go in droves to do whatever he wants.
And I think now, like assessing the election now post a month and a half, I'm like, I'm not sure if it was like Republicans won or if Democrats just didn't do their party well. You know what I'm saying? Like when you 30,000 feet, like a lot of these Democratic leading news anchors are coming out and being like, the Democratic Party just basically like fumbled it. Like the way that the choices they made and the pieces and the conversations they were having just like did not resonate with most of America. And I think that is true with now that you're looking at it, because you're like, yeah, there's no way, like when you look 30,000 feet, like there's no way that Trump just like blatantly won, other than the fact that if they just didn't like the Democratic Party enough to not vote for, Kamala,
I don't know, man.
Crazy.
I think people are, that is like an inherently, like people are good way to look at the situation.
Well, a lot of middle America, a lot of these swing states, they flip red, and you go, okay, well, is that because they actually like Trump, or is it because the Democratic Party has misrepresented them so bad for so long in the last 4 years that they're like, I would rather vote for anybody than the Democratic Party because they've led me to believe all these things that aren't true about the economy and the way that they're talking about their successes in the last 4 years. And is that why, Trump inherently won those states? Because either one, Democrats weren't voting, or Democrats were voting in the other direction.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, because I'm like,
time's gonna tell.
You're right, because when I watched that speech with Trump, I'm like, there's no way.
I'm like, people are cheering for this shit. Like, people are like, yes,
Yeah,
yes,
kill
round
all
up
the non-whites.
Let's round up all the evil Mexicans, all the evil immigrants that are coming into this country and bringing crime, and they're probably, he's like, that are most likely from criminal or mental institutions,
and they're going to
coming
birth
to this
criminals.
country, and everyone's like, yeah, whoa, you're right.
It's just crazy.
It's like that makes me go, oh, okay, faith in humanity.
Here's what I'll say. I still have a shred of hope that the system, like the other Democrats that are elected, and just like politicians that are level-headed, because there are level-headed Republican politicians. Like I do think that there are a fair amount of Republicans that would go, yeah, I voted for you, but we're not going to do that crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I do think that some of that, I hope that some of that will get blocked.
But I think that when you're put in a position where there's this like overwhelming power, where you're like, oh, this guy's like, he has sway for so many people. He has like, these big, kind of sweeping policies. Like, how do you, and everyone's like, okay, step up, John, you're a Republican. We're all Republicans here. If you're talking about those Republicans in Congress, they're looking at you going like, hey, toe the line, or
sure, I think
we're going to make your life hell.
I think a lot of people, I would, again, I don't know for sure, but I would range to, guess that I think there are more Republicans who realize Trump's, I'm going to say stability, but really instability. You know what I'm saying? Like they realize the state of how he is, and they go, we want to be able to do what we want to do as a Republican. We're not necessarily that, but we knew we had to elect that to be able to do our minor adjustments here. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think a lot of those guys would let that slide. But you're right. I mean, some people, a lot of Republicans won on the endorsement of Trump.
I think the time is coming quickly, probably, where you don't get that opportunity. Like where they're going to, it's gonna get, and I just keep saying it, like things are gonna get weirder, I think, before they get normaler. And I think that like the divisive times are kind of ahead of us, like way more than they aren't.
Question for you, Annie, because you're a resident historian and government expert. But have like the amount of CEOs that Donald Trump had sitting on his side. Is that common practice?
That's gotta be
powerful
historic,
people
right?
do powerful people like CEOs go to inaugurations, or is
Yeah.
that normal?
Probably not to the extreme that is happening now, but absolutely. Because the reality is, like, you got to think to some degree these CEOs put a lot of money, like generously a lot of money into like nonprofits and lobbying for different things because they're playing at the level where like they're not necessarily that they're making laws, but the laws are directly affecting them on huge scales.
Yeah.
So like tax breaks or, different like new, like new formalities, or I can't think of words right now.
No.
But like things like that is like directly affecting them on large scales.
Yeah, it makes
so they
sense.
have to, at some degree, if you're like high enough up in business, you have to be involved in politics because the politicians are directly affecting your business on large scales. And at the same time, you give to you donate to like nonprofits and all these causes in order to get these tax breaks or to like, like as like tax write-offs. And, if you're going to put money where your mouth is, like you might as well be looking where it's going.
Yeah.
And so it's not uncommon to have big companies and CEOs be extremely involved in politics because it's like an easy way for them to get tax breaks. And the reality is it's in their best interest to know what's going on. And if they can sway it in any way, that's great. And a lot of them aren't doing it necessarily. Well, I don't want to say a lot of them, but like some of them aren't going to do it like maliciously, but of course some of them are. But at the end of the day, they have their best interest in their company at heart.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
it was
like your
stark.
own electoral college. Like, obviously, there's a certain amount of Congress people in a state based on how many people there are, right?
Yeah.
But also, if you have billions of dollars, you also get a vote.
Yeah.
And so you get to go, hey,
Well-
Donald Trump, like, it would really be great if you did this. And then he goes, okay, perfect, we'll do this. And then they do
it's
it.
Not so
you
much
know?
that you have a vote is you can pay, because that's basically what lobbying is. Lobbying is like a third party company basically, and their whole thing is they're getting backed by these financiers, these companies, these CEOs, whatever,
Right.
to basically go and try to convince Congress people to vote a certain way. So they send these people out to have meetings with congressmen and be like, yeah, I know that this bill's coming up, but this bill's actually going to do this and this and this for these companies and these oils people, and it's going to impact, million people's lives. And if you go with this, it's actually going to put all these people out of work. And I don't think you're going to really want these people out of work in your district because you're coming up for re-election next
Yeah.
year. Like it's literally they're paying.
It's a bribe. It is
it's
a
not
bribe.
even I wouldn't. It's
It
not
is,
a bribe.
I am going to give you money in exchange
No.
for you.
That's not how that works. Lobbying is we're paying these third-party people to have these meetings to explain why these people shouldn't vote this way. They're not paying the
It is a
congressman.
state-sanctioned bribe.
No.
Is that the NRA is giving so much money every year, because if what they don't want to happen happens, then they'll just stop giving the money.
It sounds
No,
like you're
because
paying
they're
for
not-
a pitch, right?
They're paying like for a pitch. They're not.
To
The money's
explain
not
their
necessarily
thing.
going to them because they can't accept any bribes.
Right. It's a state.
No.
It's under the guise of like I'm sliding money across the table to your campaign, and I'm saying we'd really appreciate it if we could get funding, if you could make sure that the legislation goes in our way. And you go, thank you so much for your consideration, and then you vote that way. It's
But that's not
happening
what lobbying is.
under our noses. It's
I'm sure
fully
there's
legal.
there's a degree that is happening. Lobbying is not that. Lobbying's totally separate.
I think only in title is my point.
Okay, that's just not true. But
Okay.
from what I understand of it, that is not how lobbying works.
Okay.
But I do think that is probably happening. People saying like, we're going to donate. The NRA is donating to Republicans so that they continue to vote for gun rights.
It's
Of
not
course.
like it's happening is my point. Is like,
Yeah,
and it's
I'm not
happening
saying-
on both sides of the aisle,
Of
and it should be
course.
illegal. It should be illegal. You
I
shouldn't have to.
personally know someone who donated to a Democrats campaign in
Mm-hmm.
order to get their tickets for the inauguration, because every member of Congress gets invited to the inauguration.
Yeah.
They all get tickets. They're Republican. They donated to the campaign of a Democrat, and we're like, we're going to donate to your campaign. Please give us your inauguration tickets. And they're like, yeah, surely, here you go. We're not going. Go for it. I was like, that is evil genius in a
Yeah.
way. She's like,
Yeah.
I know that they weren't going to use them, so I just reached out to the local Democrat. I was like,
Crazy.
that's crazy.
Wild.
Crazy.
Like, okay.
Crazy and wild.
Live in wild times, you know.
So
Well,
I guess in a way-
the reason I asked is because like seeing the like the pans over to Trump's side and seeing like Jeff Bezos,
Yeah.
Elon Musk, and like again
Tim
recognizable
Cook from Apple, the CEO of Google.
I was like,
The new guy
whoa.
from TikTok is there
It was like crazy
in the front row,
I
and his
know.
presidential cabinet was in the second row.
It was crazy too
What is
because
what are you talking
my
about?
thing is, was the eeriest part for me, and I know that like a lot of these CEO types, and you know, are not super religious. Like, you know, it's very black and white, and I get it. Like they had a rabbi, a pastor, and then you know a priest or priest. Yeah, they all there's three of them, and they all came and prayed and said their piece, you know, a blessing over the next president. And the pastor was praying, and like a lot of people's heads are bowed, and like, you know, even if I think a lot too, if you're not religious, you're probably closing your eyes and just out of respect. But it pans, and Jeff Bezos is just like fully, like not eyes closed, not nothing. He's just like blinking and just looking around, and I was like, it was just like weird.
That's
to me.
standby mode.
Yeah, it was just like weird to me. You can't convince me that Jeff Bezos is not a robot.
Yeah. He's
That guy
crazy.
If you walk up
weird.
to him, you go, Alexa, play music.
And
He
goes-
opens his mouth,
he goes-
yeah.
He opens-
Shuffling songs by.
He opens his mouth, and
Music.
the music comes out. He's
I'm telling
like
you.
that.
It's like Lilo and Stitch when Stitch.
Yeah.
Has his
Yeah,
finger
yeah.
on the record player.
Seriously, that guy looks like creepy, robotic.
They all do.
Weird.
I would say that tells me a lot that basically the powerful CEOs of the world were in the front row and his cabinet was in the second. Because but also, I mean, that was Trump for a long time. Trump was one of those big CEOs who was
He's one
just
of those
playing the
guys.
game.
He wasn't in the front row, but he was certainly donating to campaigns. You know?
Yeah.
He donated to Hillary's campaign or something a while back. Remember that came out when he was a Democrat back before he was in politics.
Back when he was cool
when
in the
he-
old days. When
back
he
in
was
the old days.
like doing
Whatever
blow.
you
Did
wanna
that
see.
movie
Hookers
about
and
his
stuff.
life ever come out?
It came out, but it kind of was
Flopped.
underwhelming. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, really? I never saw it.
The Apprentice.
I never heard
I
anything
think
about
Sebastian
it.
Stan might have gotten a nomination or something.
he did.
Golden Globes.
He
We're
actually
still-
won.
We're still. Oh, we did.
Mhm.
We're still waiting on the Oscars
Yeah.
noms to come out.
Gosh.
You hear about that?
No.
This is going to be possibly the first year the Oscars is completely canceled because they don't want to seem like they are celebrating when LA
Oh.
is
I think that's a rumor.
dying.
I think that's a rumor.
Well,
Because tragedy happens every year. They're not going to miss the Oscars. I
That
mean,
would be
they
way.
get
I don't
to-
know.
That would be way too sympathetic for the Oscars.
They get to give each other little golden men for acting.
You're telling me
You're
we
telling
can't-
me they're
we
going to
can't
skip
have
a
our-
moment?
We can't have our big party. All
give each other
All
awards?
the rich celebrities can't have our big moment. That's
Come
you're out of your
on.
mind.
Out of your mind.
It's not that bad. Let's say that. I'll say that.
I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad.
I'll say there is probably a lot of like jobs and money that goes around creating the Oscars.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Like
mean,
that probably would put a lot of people in LA out of work to not have the Oscars.
That is true.
Right.
You sound like the Oscars.
I wonder what
You
the
sound like the Oscars right now.
Annie Oscar
I lobby for the
Skovmand
Oscars.
And he's like, well, listen, if we don't
Listen.
have the Oscars, then nobody gets
sliding it across the
paid.
table.
I go.
Sliding it.
So we're gonna donate this here to the fire relief, but
I
when
bet
the
you.
Oscars come out,
You know that they have little money guys that go, okay, let's see how much money could we lose if we go ahead and people are offended that the fires are still going.
Not as much as they would.
Not as much
Having
as they
the
would
Oscars.
make if they had the Oscars and people were offended.
Yeah.
And yep, okay, we're running the numbers. We like the numbers.
The
Okay,
Oscars
great.
are happening.
The Oscars are on.
This
It is with a heavy heart that we will proceed with the Oscars.
but don't worry, we will have a montage video
Oh,
created
in the
about the fires.
arms of an
Yeah.
angel.
Pretty wild.
Little.
Should we react to Trump's inauguration speech, or should we all watch it and record our reactions?
Yeah.
Probably.
No, please no.
My favorite thing about my favorite idea we've had on the podcast is where I was like, we should live stream watching the election results, and I was going, first of all, as we know, the election results take like, you know, sometimes days.
Hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but also, it was like, could you imagine if we had reacted to this election's like results, like live stream to it? I was like,
I
it
mean,
would
this
be
one-
8-hour live stream of
We
me
would've-
getting drunk and more drunk
We
and more
would
drunk.
have been done hours before it was over. Because hours before it was over, we knew.
Well,
Yeah,
the
I know, but
cocktail
I'm just
episode
saying-
was coming out recently, like soon after, so it would have been way too close to each other.
I mean, could you imagine us watching and being like, what is?
Let's do this.
Because I was shocked.
Let's
watching
do a
those
live
results.
stream over the next 4 years. Let's just turn the camera on, and then we'll speed it up at the end. You can see me like rapidly aging,
Yeah.
like
Oh.
When I
like
tell you
decay.
his first election, because I was an RA in college at the time.
Whoa.
wow.
And
That's
I was
crazy.
That's how long ago it
that's
was.
his first one.
2016.
Just
that's
8
right.
years ago.
I had to sit in the lobby of my building because that's where the TV was, and it was literally everyone in the building watching the TV,
Oh, wow.
and I had to be there for whatever happened.
I will say there's a big
Theater art
jump
school.
from when he won in 2016 to this because the first time, a lot of people were just so like publicly
Yeah.
posting like, I'm shook, like this is crazy. And then this time it's just a lot of people being like, all right, well, I guess that's where we're going now. Like people are so apathetic about it now. It's the difference between the two. I'm like,
They literally telling you theater art school, they canceled classes the next day.
That's awesome.
Some of the teachers canceled classes.
I'm canceling my appointments from
yeah,
now
you
on.
seem really shook, man.
Your appointments?
I'm just
What appointments?
I mean, you're making
my
me sad.
appointments.
Well, he
really
made some
making me sad.
appointments to cancel.
First, I gotta make the appointments. Wait, that's my next appointment is to
Make the
schedule the
appointments.
appointments, and then just cancel.
You're making me
Ugh,
sad.
guys.
You seem so defeated over there. on
You're
that
fine.
floor.
You're fine.
Just
Buck
bummed.
up.
Oh man. I think
When
it's gonna
I
be
run
okay.
for president, we can all watch. We can have a live stream of the
I know,
election
when-
results.
When Annie told me that she wanted to be a senator,
It'll
I
look
was
the
just so
same. Just me
shocked.
getting more and more drunk,
more and more drug.
Yeah.
Well,
and then
that's
dying
just
of
what we
alcohol
call
poisoning.
what Tuesday night for you.
Hey,
Heyo.
Hey, yo.
That's gonna just be my
Are you doing dry
go-to
January?
sound.
Are you doing dry
No.
January?
No, not in this political climate.
Oh, I'm doing dry January.
Oh,
Oh.
really?
After today?
after
Yeah.
today, after MLK Day, really?
Really? Do you think you would want me to be sober
On MLK
on a day like this?
No way. That's so good.
Uh,
That's what it is.
On Robert E. Lee's
Oh,
holiday in where did you say they were doing that?
No,
Where were they doing that? Alabama.
Really? Yeah.
I need a
classic.
buzz counter. How many times it just? Apparently, I literally thought I was like reading like fake news, like The Onion or something. It's like, oh yeah, on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day, they're also going to be honoring in Alabama and Mississippi a national holiday for Robert E. Lee.
That
Can't
is
say
so
national.
wild.
The
State holiday.
sorry, interstate.
Nation's not doing that.
Interstate, Mississippi, Alabama, 2 states. The national famous, what do they call him? Coward, traitor, general of the
General.
of the
Really?
South.
Yeah.
Was he their president or was he their he was just a general?
I'm
right?
just not
Just a
sure
general.
how you can.
I think he was the head general of
Who was
the
their
army.
didn't they have a president too?
I don't know.
I was just gonna say I'm not sure how you can like knowingly know what we know about Robert E. Lee.
It's
and
because
be
his
like,
birthday was yesterday.
Yeah, no, but he was a good
Bleh.
guy. It's like what? Like, are you like where what's going
Well, it
on?
was about
there?
states' rights, obviously. So.
It's
Oh,
Alabama
bleh.
and Mississippi. Monday is Robert E. Lee Day.
Stand back! I think I'm gonna throw up.
They're the only 2 states
is
that
it-
recognize
does it-
King and Lee.
Does it always land on MLK Day?
The third Monday of January.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
MLK Day always lands on the 3rd Monday.
Yeah.
And so does him, I guess.
No, his birthday can't always land on the 3rd Monday.
Oh, it is his birth. It's his birthday today.
Is it
or
his
is it-
birthday or is
or
it?
His
it
birthday was
today?
yesterday.
Oh, it's just a day.
So
that
they
celebrate.
celebrate it on
So
the
they're
3rd
fully
Monday.
doing that
On
intentionally.
purpose,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Bastards.
That's
Awful.
crazy.
Yeah, that is wild.
Why, man?
is
Bunch
crazy.
of losers. Imagine reading about the Civil War and then making that your whole personality and then honoring the South. Any part of it.
Yeah,
It's
that-
There goes our
crazy.
Mississippi and Alabama audience.
Yeah, I guess,
Bye.
yeah, bye. Bleh. I guess we could cancel that Montgomery trip we were going to make this month.
Gosh. Wait, it didn't. This is gonna
Go
be back
ahead.
in my history.
Go ahead.
Didn't MLK die in Alabama?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Or
Somebody
was
look
it-
that
or
up.
was it
I got it.
Tennessee? Yeah, can we look that up?
I got it.
Where did he pass away?
Memphis.
Memphis. So no.
Tennessee with
Tennessee.
Elvis.
Tennessee.
Huh.
Oh well, that would have been truly spectacular
That would've
if
been
that
crazy.
is how it
That
all
would've
lined
been
up. That would have
crazy.
been.
That would have been too
what
far.
is
That would have
going
been too
He
on?
was
far.
shot at Robert E. Lee Boulevard. God.
Oh, that is so wild.
Oh,
so
man.
wild.
Yeah.
Guys, it's all just a bad dream. We're gonna wake up. It's
The
gonna be
world we live in.
2005.
I sure hope so. That's true. 2005. That'd be
Yeah,
good.
we're going way
That's
back.
a good year.
Before the recession.
Okay,
Before everything.
Can we go even further? Because that's like
no,
the peak of
9/11
the
had to
Ira-
have happened.
yeah, but the Iraq War was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Well,
back then.
Good for the economy.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Buy a house.
Annie
2005.
Bush Skovmand.
Bye.
Buy a house and then sell it.
My cousin just met Laura Bush. She posted it.
Oh,
know,
how's she doing?
She looked pretty good. I was like, oh, okay, Laura.
I do think it is always kind of crazy when, and it doesn't happen that often, when all the former living presidents are like in the same room.
Jimmy
It's just-
Carter's
it's just wild to
funeral.
me.
They were all
It's
there.
just going. All these guys have the same like experience that is like
Very
this job
different.
that sucks, as we know.
Yeah.
It sounds like it sucks, and they're all just like, I'm like, and all the Secret Service is crazy.
Here's
to
my
me.
thing, though. You signed up for it. You literally asked for it.
I think you have to be something of a sociopath to want to be the president. I think.
Yeah, sure.
I think you
think-
have to have.
It seems cool, like
Something
on,
wrong with
on
you.
face value. You know, you think like, oh, you know, it's all billed as like the most powerful person or whatever. But I'm like thinking about it, like, no, it sounds like it would suck. It sounds like every day you would live in like,
Hell.
yeah.
Have you seen the before and after pictures of Obama?
Oh,
I know.
gosh. It's crazy.
That
He
guy's-
grades
that guy-
so fast.
We got
Well,
a
same-
lot of
and
time
same
with that
with
guy.
Bush.
He's young. He's like he's like 50, isn't he, Barack Obama?
Obama.
I think he's in his
His
60s,
I miss
early
that guy.
60s.
Yeah.
When he was president, I think he was like 50.
He got elected in his, I want to say, mid-40s.
That's pretty young.
Yeah.
Okay, he's 60.
You can't run until you're 37.
Can you
which
Google-
also such a
Can you
weird
Google
age.
how Jimmy Carter's peanut farm is doing?
It went south.
It went under.
My peanuts went sour. Freaking pissed.
Dude, Jimmy Carter. Oh,
What a man.
what a legend, that guy. Terrible president, but what he did after
Was he,
really
though?
defined him.
Yeah.
Why do we think that?
He was really
Did some
passive,
stuff?
right?
He basically did nothing.
He did nothing, which also makes you a terrible president. Which is why the job is so
Glad,
hard.
hey, glad we haven't had one of those in a while.
If you're telling me he's a terrible president because he just kept the status quo, that sounds great to me. Come on.
Yeah, I would love some precedented
change.
times. Could you please
I
just
love
drive
some
the
regular,
ship?
You know,
The hell are you talking
that's why
about?
he's billed as a bad president.
Oh, you know what? Because he never had any like massive scandals.
He
What?
He didn't start or end any wars. Okay, well, hold
Okay.
on.
Okay, he didn't have any global crises happen.
That
Jesus
sucked for him.
Christ.
That's crazy.
Whatever.
He lived to 100.
You know what?
That old bag.
You're right. I'm gonna be fine. Just
Yes.
for a day, let me be.
I know.
A
I'm
little-
letting
You are
a
dressed
little
in all
cynical.
blue, so we'll let you be blue today.
I'm letting you have your day.
I'm
letting you have
a blue next 4-year presidency with
With
you.
you.
Here's what I hope. I hope
Go ahead.
Trump does something truly shocking in a good way for what you think.
Oh, I hope you love
I hope he
him.
does. Don't make me like him.
Oh my gosh.
No, I
I
think-
hope
I-
something comes out.
You know
and
what?
you
You know
end
what
up
Trump's gonna
loving
do?
him.
Trump's gonna spend the next 4 years working hard to make you like him.
Yeah.
You.
So,
Not
I
you.
yeah,
almost-
Ryan Tafolla.
You know what's funny is I almost was like, oh, okay, he's working towards TikTok. That's good. But now that it's back,
This speech was rough.
and the little like, what really set me off was the little thing, the bubble.
Yeah.
the
I'm sorry to
Thank
tell
you,
you
Trump.
that Trump will never try for you because you're Mexican.
I know. Well, I'm a little
you're-
worried.
you're a legal
Luckily,
citizen.
I'm
Well, you're a
fourth.
legal citizen.
Luckily, I'm like 4th generation, so
You
I'll
have
be
that
fine,
going for you, so that's
Yeah.
good.
which is nice. Which is nice. The Portuguese aren't getting deported, are they?
Portuguese.
No, not you.
No.
no. What?
In history, they've loved the Portuguese.
Oh, good. Thank God.
think
Yeah,
we're-
they're not gonna start.
Magellan-
They're not gonna
Magellan,
start.
really popular.
They're not gonna deport like multiple race mixed,
Oh.
vaguely
Oh.
brown
That
people. Are they?
was in the speech. That was in the speech.
Oh.
You didn't catch that part.
Yeah.
Cara
Yikes.
and I have an announcement. We're moving to Canada.
Very nice.
Canada.
Well, Canada's gonna be 51st.
Can we move to Italy first?
Oh,
No.
Before
yeah,
Canada.
yeah.
Didn't you hear Trump's gonna buy Canada? So
Yeah,
Canada's
well, yeah.
Gonna be part
Dang
of
it.
it.
Canada, you're
Is he
gonna be the
buy
next
it or
state
is he gonna
before you know
obtain
it.
it?
I don't know how it works.
It was sounding very
Annexed.
obtainy.
the details are not what matters.
No, it was. Listen,
51st state,
I'll do
Canada.
you a favor,
Yeah.
and you can join us.
Let's
If
just.
the world becomes Handmaid's Tale,
Yeah.
I'll
And
just
aren't you
kill
excited?
myself
Aren't you
first.
excited to visit
I'll
the
kill
Gulf
you.
of America soon? Doesn't that sound awesome?
What the hell?
Wait,
He's trying
what?
he wants to rename the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America.
That's happening, folks.
Doesn't he know that that's
Come
where all
on.
his illegal immigrants are coming from?
No, the
Gulf?
all the criminals, Karen. All the
Criminals.
criminals.
We
Like
don't know.
criminal.
God.
Pissing me
But
right off.
he
And
seems
he's also
really
reclaiming
cool with his
something else. I
Cuban
missed
cigars
it.
that he smuggles in.
Yeah.
He's reclaiming some other thing too. He said in his speech.
Isn't his
Let's
wife
just
from Russia? Am I missing something?
No,
Don't.
you have all the
She's
information.
Slavic.
Slavic.
Don't
David
think
Dobrik's
about
side?
it.
Anything good happen this week that we can like cherry on top, make it better? Anything happen?
Well, I mean, we're gonna be posting this on Instagram soon, so we can certainly start talking about the fact that Jordan and I are having a baby.
John
John died to that.
behalf of us,
Yeah.
congratulations to you and
Thanks.
Jordan. And just if there's anything we can do to help
Oh,
this,
yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
help this baby out.
Podcast baby for real.
Yes, for realsies.
realsies.
Unlike the fake one.
Well, we had Scout on here, and we were calling her
Podcast
baby.
baby.
Right.
And she kind of is, but yeah.
And I do. I have this little secret that's been
Oh, I know,
nice and warm in my heart for the past
And
24
then
hours.
the other two are gonna find out shortly here. As soon as Jordan gets back, we're gonna.
Oh, so exciting!
guys
Big
are gonna-
reveal. Big
Gonna
reveal.
bite a cake pop and find out.
I had a
Great.
dream. I had a dream last night.
Yeah,
I already told
guesses.
John this. I had a dream that John and Jordan told me, and it was a girl. So after
Really?
this, we'll find out if I'm.
Which is
psychic.
good because I think it's a boy. So.
Well, I think it's a boy, and that's
Oh.
why the dream was caught me so off guard. I was like,
I had a dream.
I don't know. The
2
genetics
nights-
of a certain side of the family are
Yeah.
very strong.
Albright
had a-
So
I had a
Albright
dream
genes.
that 2 nights ago that we were having a girl, and then so did Jordan.
Ooh, did that change things for
I
you?
have no idea. We'll find out.
well, you do. You have an idea, but you can't say it because we don't know yet.
I told my brother. My brother called me, and he's like, he's so convinced it's a boy, and he's like, so he just keeps using our boy name, which I'm not sure if we're saying, so I won't.
Yeah,
say
That's
it
fine.
yet.
We'll keep it.
But he's like, hey,
Beepus.
how's so and so? And I was like, I don't know the gender. He's like, you don't have to lie to me. And I was like, he's like, it's okay. You can tell me you don't want to tell. You can. He got really serious. He's like, you can tell me that you don't want to tell me, but you don't have to lie to me. That's. I was like, bro, chill. Like we're just
That's
hanging out.
David's move. That's always his move.
Yeah,
Fully made me
I like
feel
how we
like
fully knew.
shit. I
It's
was like,
Dave.
oh.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
Exactly.
Oh,
sorry.
made you feel like shit? It was David.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've got
you
it.
know exactly who it was.
Well, you're gonna have to paste this whole thing together, but that's fine.
It's gonna be great.
That's what's great about this
Cut
podcast.
and paste.
Cut and paste it.
It's gonna be awesome.
Folks, we want to thank our Patreon supporters. Hey, if you want to get access to a bunch of extra, schwa from this show
Lots of
every
schwa.
week, head on down to the bio. We've got a link to our Patreon, and we are going to be rolling this out. Actually, there is going to be a free version of our
Yes.
Patreon. You're going to get access to some of the extra content, but for $4 a month, you can support the show, and you can get access to the post show, which is it's like a little extra time where we talk about anything and everything, and and we just love doing this podcast every week. So head on down there. And John, you absolutely brightened my mood back up. I fully forgot what we were talking about before. So
That's good.
That's
Very
good.
good. Very
President
It was
Donald
Trump.
Trump.
President Donald John Trump. Is it John?
Oh, is it
Was his
John?
middle name John? I think it
it's-
is.
I think it's
James.
Don John Tron
Don John
is his name. Who cares?
All right.
Not me. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
Awesome.
Any
Donald John
final
Trump,
thoughts?
you're right.
Anyone? What's that?
It is Donald John Trump.
Oh my
Don,
God.
it is Don John.
Don John. Johnny.
We have our
good.
own John here.
Wait a
Let's
minute.
call him Donnie
We know a
Johnny.
John.
And there's a John there.
And
And they were both
I've never seen such a
Johns.
bad.
Oh, we should listen to that.
President.
I fixed my record player. We should
Oh.
listen to that. Okay. never
Okay,
mind.
let's wrap this.
Let's
up.
wrap this up.
Let's
On the
wrap
couch
up.
as
We have
always,
things to do.
Cara Tafolla, Annie the Skovmand. I'm Ryan,
And I'm John.
and we'll see you next week on
What the
Podcast.
What was the one time we did that exit and I said it was a word that Cara used? What was it?
Titillated.
No, it was another one.
Titillated.
So many good ones. Ugh.
Ugh.
So
I love
many
this
good
show.
ones. Artie's like, okay.
Get me
okay.
out of
Done.
here.
Done.
Artie likes to sit right